know, there's a magic. And I don't know exactly how the whole thing works. And maybe I don't want to know how the whole thing works. I just know it works. Well, I grew up in a little town, Miami. I love the music. I love the architecture. I love the whole thing. It had tremendous influence on me. I watched the city grow. I watched it go from like a kind of a sleepy little town to like this huge international scene.
Oh, I grew up in St. Louis. Well, actually, I was born in Clayton, Missouri, which is a suburb of St. Louis. And my father was in the kind of wholesale antique and importing business. So I was exposed to a lot of interior designers, decorators, people who were involved in art and so forth. He taught me a lot about good old common sense and how to just be a businessman in a very simple, sort of direct way.
He rocked my world. Marvin's the wildest thing I've ever done, and it was awesome. We met in Mexico.
God, there's so many good things about Elaine. The best thing about Elaine, I guess, is her positive, friendly, caring attitude.
He's got a great eye, and he can say no. He's a great editor. He can, you know, like throw something out.
The crafts and all the things that they do in Mexico, the handcrafts, fantastic. And with my background in antiques and so forth, I started buying and involving myself with, you know, the craft market and so forth, and taking the things to the States and selling them.
We had this factory. We made great leather jackets and bags and belts, and he won an award from the Mexican government. I mean, it was really cool. And then our children were born down there. Rio was born, and 2 years later Sarah was born, and that was fabulous.
We were just on top of the world.
And then the economy got really weird, and it was time to leave. We had heard about Sanibel Island, and at that time I thought, 2 little kids starting from scratch, let's go somewhere that's safe and clean and just raise our kids and live happily ever after.
We would go around and sell our things in Fort Myers and Sanibel and areas around here.
Then we brought all that stuff back to Sanibel and opened a little store in Periwinkle Place, and that was the very first Chicos store.
And we really didn't have the money to get the store built out, so I became a carpenter. We started off with folk art. That's where the name Chicos, FAS, comes from, you know, on the stock exchange. Chicos Folk Art Specialties. Still kind of hung into the name even after we switched to clothing.
Folk art was one of a kind. So if you sold a piece, good for you, but you couldn't reorder it. So we had also sweaters.
And I unpacked them, and we stacked them up on the floor in the window.
And those sweaters started selling like crazy. We sold them for $50. I think we paid $8.
Obviously, because they were a direct import and there was no middleman, you know, the profit potential was very good because we'd gotten them directly from the source in Mexico. That put us in the clothing business. The clothing end of the business grew much quicker than the crafts and folk art. We had money coming in and we could, you know, do business, and we were very comfortable, but really wanted to grow a lot, and that took a lot of money. We finally found the other method besides borrowing from banks who really wouldn't loan us money to do what we wanted to do. So we franchised.
I expected so much from Chicos. And I made a deal with myself, and I don't even know if I ever mentioned this to anybody, because it was really personal. Because I would go in the morning and I would flip on the lights and flip on the music, and there was times when I was there by myself and I said, you know, Chicos, I'm going to give you everything I have, and all I want is for this to be the greatest company in the whole wide world. I want everybody who's involved with this company, whether it's people on the team, whether it's suppliers, whether it's customers, whether it's the UPS guy, I want everybody to feel good. I want Chicos to be a source for good in the world. And that's what I want. That was my deal. And I knew that if I put everything I had from my heart and my soul into this little company, that I was going to get it. And I don't know how I knew that or what was going on with me. All I knew was that I was going to do it from my heart.
The Chicos culture, I think, is reflected by the way both Helene and I feel about people. We felt that these people were guests in our home or our store.
People make all the difference in the world. A person can change your life. A person can change your day. A person can, people are everything.
Everybody, enjoying each other, being together, working together, and accomplishing things as a team.
I wanted clothes to make people feel fantastic. I wanted a woman to come in to Chicos no matter how she felt and walk out feeling amazing.
For the last, 15 or 20 years painted as a hobby, and I've decided to turn it into like another career. So I've been very involved in creating art.
But it's really a byproduct of just him being so turned on. It's fabulous to see someone that you love being so turned on to creating. I love to do yoga. I really am just enjoying being free. I've got some art projects that I'm going to be working on, and I'm excited about that. But right now I just kind of like being very free.
I think that Chicos will continue to flourish. I think the culture will be more important than ever.
Be straight with the customer. That's all you got to do. Just be right there for her, be helpful.
Instinct. You never know what direction to go, but the customer tells you if you listen.
Stay fresh, stay current, pay attention, look around. Give the people what they want. It's a big deal now. It was a big deal then.